Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna quickly go over the independent projects part of this assignment or this module. And I'm gonna show you a couple of examples and also just go over the ins and outs of the assignment and how that links to your live brief assignment as well. So this week we are not going to be live online. It's going to be a combination of you just cracking on and setting up your e-portfolio, and also I'm going to be having tutorials with groups. So some things will be independent and some things will be with me. So just have a look at Canvas and make sure you know what you're doing. A little bit about your live project. What I want you to do for your live project is document it, okay? And I want you to document things like meeting minutes, presentations, works in progress, emails with clients, timelines and deadlines. I'll go over this a little bit more in tutorial with you, but basically I want you to document it on one page of your independent portfolio. Okay, so that's where you're going to host everything. So make sure as you're going through the live project, you are capturing everything, and you will be required to do a little sort of mini summary presentation at the very end of the process. But I'll talk about that more in due course. So your portfolio, okay? You can't add a page to it if you don't know what it is. So on Canvas, I've put a series of instruction videos to help you set up your portfolio. This is using ePortfolio, and the beauty of ePortfolio is that it's totally secure and hidden within the university. So although it looks like a digital or like a website, you having your own website, it's not public on the web. It is a very basic web editor in a way. It doesn't do all the fancy things that a website will if you're into HTML coding and whatever. But the reason it's good is that it's safe and it's hidden, especially if you're putting personal details on and everything. However, if you are really keen to do this as a website and you think it might be useful moving forward into your your next year, your year when you've graduated and doing things, creative things, then I'm fine with you setting it up as a website. I'm not marking you on the program that you're using, okay? I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is it well written? Has it got good spelling and grammar? Has it got a good structure? Is there professional photos, professional videos? I don't want photos of you on, having drinks with your mates or whatever. So it has to be professional, okay? And over the next couple of months of the module, well, we will be delving into that and how we might present ourselves, what's our USP, how we might self-brand. So we will be going over that in more detail to help you construct your portfolio. But the only downside of a website is that it's public on the web, and you might not be ready to put it on there yet. So think about that. Think about where you want it. I'm not going to teach you a web platform to use. I'm just going to show you ePortfolio, because I think it does the job and everybody will be able to manage it. It is entirely up to you if you use a different platform. But again, I won't be marking you on the platform. So that's not an issue. So that's a little caveat to that. So what are the rules of your individual portfolio? Okay, on the module guide it says numbers 1 to 4 are compulsory. I've added in your live project assessment page because I think it's the easiest way for us really to assess that. So that's a slight change. That's why it's highlighted in yellow. So you have to do numbers 1 to 5, and the rest are optional. You need 3 of the rest, okay, as a minimum. Alright, so we did CVs last week, so once you've got a really polished CV, get it on there. Pre and post skills audit, areas of improvement, we did that. You've done your pre-module skills audit, okay, so you might want to download that, keep that somewhere safe. Link to your Create Britain profile. Okay, it might be that you decide that those 3 things all go on one page because they're kind of linked, and that is absolutely fine. Alright, I don't mind how you display it. Then a placement or professional discussion, and I'm going to add in or a professional mentor scheme with an industry expert and some industry research. Okay, that means I'd like you to go away and research the ins and outs of that part of the industry that you're interested in working in. So if it's working in the studio, you might be researching, the average salary of working in the studio, whether it's freelance, whether it's full-time annual salary, whether it's what skills you need to work in a studio and that sort of thing. So I want you to do some really in-depth research. Okay, then obviously your page for your live project, that might become more than one page, but at the moment a page will be enough to document it all. And then after that you've got options. The whole point of this portfolio is to tailor it to your interests and your skill set. Okay, so everyone's is going to look different. Despite the first 5 things being compulsory, they'll still have different things in them. So it's about really tailoring this to who you are as a creative person and who you want to be when you finish university. Okay, what do you want to do and where do you want to be? If you're not sure yet, this might be an investigative process, and you might have a couple of things that you're going to investigate in this. That is also fine. It doesn't have to be one definitive goal or outcome. It could be a few, and that is okay. This is about you showcasing what you can do. This is about showcasing your skills. So you might have creative skills like I'm a guitarist and a composer, or I'm really good at mixing live sound, or I'm a really good script writer, and I'm really into set design. Fantastic. But there might also be some other skills, some extra creative skills, like you're a great workshop facilitator, or you're really good at let me think, at web design maybe, or you might have an artistic outlet, so you might want to include things around the periphery of what you do that aren't maybe directly linked to your degree, but if you think they're a potential avenue to develop, then include them. I've got some examples to show you, but this is sort of I'm imagining I'm doing it. So I might have an about me page, a brief bio, a profile photo, a brief overview of the pages for the rest of my portfolio, and then I might have a resume page, my CV, my education, my work experience, skills audits, and a link to my Create Britain profile. I might have my live project page, my live brief page even, with evidence from that work. Then I might have a page about my placement or my professional discussion and the research that I did around that. And then I might identify 3 key skills. So for me it would be I'm a composer, and I'm an educator, and I'm a conductor. So I might have a page on each of those skills, because I find as though they define who I am as a creative person. And then I might have a future planning page, and that would be my portfolio. So it might be, I'm going to apply for a master's or a PGCE, or there's a job that I'm really interested in, and even though I might, I might apply for that privately, I'm going to include my application form here and how I've written about myself, or I might apply for an award or something. So that's just a sort of example, really. It doesn't have to be that. It depends on how you want to represent yourself and what your skills are. So I've got some links to some portfolio examples. These aren't actually examples from this module, because this is the first time this module has run. However, I do teach a similar module at a different university. Ooh, naughty. And and this module is actually one that's been going for a long time, and I actually co-designed this module about 8 years ago. So it is my module, so I feel as though I can show you this work, and I have checked with the students that I can show you this work too, because they agreed to be part of my research. So their e-portfolio looks a little bit different to ours, because their e-portfolio is green and ours is purple, because that's the university colours. But it is a Mahara e-portfolio. It is exactly the same program that we use, so you'll get a sense of what it might look like. These are quite old. They're about, I would say one of them is about 10 years old, some of them are about 8 or 9 years old, so they're old, and these people have moved on and done other things, but they're quite good examples of portfolios. So where are we going with this? On here. Okay, their assignment was slightly different, but actually I think the outcome is quite good. I wonder if I need to log in. I might have to log in actually. Oh no, here. That one hasn't shown properly. Oh yes, it has. Okay, so this is a portfolio about Matt, who's a music student. They're all music students, just so happens, but that doesn't really make much difference. Nice About Me page, some images of performances. Ideally, they could be a bit more professional, but this was about 10 years ago, so they were probably the best photos we could have got at the time, actually. And a little About Me bio bit, some contact details. Let's whiz past them so you don't, and examples of freelance work, some networking events that this person's been to, and some upcoming performances, and some information about some of the bands that they're in, and from a funk band, heavy metal band, to a barbershop quartet, and various other orchestral things. So a huge range, and some other things about experience, teaching in Japan, and volunteering work, and being a leader of the Aikido club at university. So again, things that are maybe outside of music, but still, I think an employer would be still interested in hearing about, really. So that's page 1. Page 2, CV, experience. A CV laid out in e-portfolio, rather than what we were looking at as a paper CV last week, but that's fine. A bit like it's a sort of CV on steroids, really. This a bit more about a personal statement, academic goals, career goals, quite like that. Some education history, which you can reveal, expand, and some grades there. Employment history, some examples of written work, some certificates, uploaded, and interesting, some future plans, and some research projects and testimonials, which are very interesting. And there's the link to the general CV, so the thing that we were doing last week. So this is nice because it's got a lot more information on. Perhaps you get fleshes out the person, you get a sense of who they are. And then an identification of skills and qualities, which I find really quite interesting. It works really well. Nice visual representation of everything that they can do, including some, programs that they're experienced in, and other things. So a huge broad range of skills there, and I think it's a really good thing for everyone to do, is to try and sort of list all their skills, because I think you'd be surprised at all the things you can do. Professional promotion. This person's thought about what they want to do when they finish, and has started thinking about posters, business cards, and starting to develop a website, and they're doing that on Wix, which is great, and they put the link in there. So this person's taken it to another level. They've said, yeah, this is my portfolio, but actually I'm going to create a professional website now, which is great. And work placement report. This person has done it as a weekly report, so they've done written about each day, taken some photographs, things that they've learned in the studio, some of the equipment that they've used, and some outcomes and some professional contacts they've made, which is really, really important. When you go out on placement, if you get the opportunity to do that, you've made some professional contacts apart from all of this, you've networked with people while you're out there, and some outcomes, further work, fantastic, and guidance on their equipment and things, which is exactly what you want to come out of a placement. You want to get guidance, you want to get information so that you can move forward with your own interests. And then some compositions with some videos, with some MP3s, and a list of when they were written, and has divided them up into solo and instrumental and other things, with some recordings, live recordings as well. So this person's set out their skills as, composition, work placement, professional promotion, skills and qualities, CV, and about them. So that, nicely laid out, really clear portfolio. The other one I'm going to show you is Leanne's. So her cover page is doing something very similar, a bit of about, a nice photo there, some contacts and some links to external pages, and the fact that she's about to create a website, which is fantastic. So she's identified herself as a composer. She's even designed her own logo, and for her future business, and divided it up into compositions, arrangements, commissions, some example of her work here, and a nice quote from somebody that's worked with her, which is fantastic. Oh, that's weird, it's flipped. A external link to SoundCloud. Conductor, so again she's identifying some of her key skills that she thinks really represent her. Some photos of her conducting, albeit could be a little bit better quality. I think quality of images is really, really important, especially if you plan to create a website, and some reflections and some future plans. and some performance photos as her as a performer, and all the different performing modes she has as a performer. And the ensemble she was in, and the ensemble she currently is as a soloist. And that's a really nice page. I think her photos could be bigger. I think it would be great to have photos on, even maybe a recording. Perhaps would add a dynamic to it. And then she's identified her skills as a teacher. And she's got some plans to apply for teaching courses. She's identified some in the area that she'd be interested to apply for, and where she would like to teach, and some experience of where she has taught, which is really, really important, and some examples of her teaching. So you can see how each portfolio is sort of very personal to them, and really identifying some of the skills. This is a placement which is documented at York High School, doing drumming sessions, and some examples of some arrangements. So, and a really good reflection of skills and things that they've learned on placement again, which is really important. And then at the end, her CV, her employment history, her education history, and I kind of like these little logos of where she's been, and some references as well, which is really quite good to have. So there's an example of two portfolios, quite different, identifying different skills, different things. Some of this is quite old fashioned. I mean, you probably wouldn't have to put your marital status on anymore. The final one, this one's a little bit brief, but the quality of the photos are a lot better on this one. It's not as developed as the others perhaps, but again, certification, education history, personal skills, identifying those. There's an artist as well, some of the artwork, CV, composer, professional business cards, and a quotation, which is really, really nice from somebody, a recommendation, a trailer to a film, talking about influences, which is really important, and a link to a website again, so another student that has gone off and created a website, and then as a performer, classical music, and some examples of playing, photos of playing, and a little bit of information. Could be a bit more text on that page maybe, and some other styles, blues, rock and ska, on there as well. Don't look too closely at the baritone player, you might recognise her, unfortunately, and some videos of performances as well, which is great because it shows what he can do as a performer, and the range of musical skills that he has. And then a bit of a curveball, I suppose, and we haven't seen this on a previous portfolio, but actually this person is quite an accomplished artist as well, and finds that that's a really important part of what he does, so has also included some of his illustrations as well, which is great because I think it's important to show a range of skills, and it's obviously quite important to him and his creative practice, so he's included that there. That one's a very short one. I think it could have been longer, and obviously there's bits on these that don't align with our assessment criteria because the assessments are different, but you get a sense of how people are trying to represent themselves, and how you might start to structure your presentation, your portfolio. So in summary, your portfolio needs these things as compulsory, and 3 of the other things. It can be on ePortfolio, but if you're really desperate to play around with other things, you can do it on a website. However, I tend to find a website is a lot more focused on one skill. So I have a website and it's just about composing, even though I do lots of other things. So maybe your ePortfolio, because it's about a range of skills and encompassing who you are as a creative person, you might want the ePortfolio for that and a website for something more specific. I hope this is helpful. Follow the videos, instruction videos, set up your portfolio, start thinking about what you want to put where, and if you get stuck, let me know. See you.